Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, run it back. Run it up, then run it back.
Oh. Lou, we're on the air. It's Thursday. What are you doing?
I was just tying my hoodie up. I was just getting my...
Looks like he had a tie
In his
on.
defense, all week long, it started off with us two and then brought him in. Today, we went right to all three.
Well, this is the way it should be. This is the way it should be. We should be popping up on the screen to frighten the world all at the same time. Thank you so much. This is Run It Back. Chandler, Michelle, Lou.
I even forgot to turn my light on.
And you still look glowing and luminescent.
Your skin looks great. Is that what you want to hear? You're fishing.
Fish away. Oh, we got a lot of
I'm biting. It looks good, Lou.
We got DeAndre Jordan coming up a little bit later on, but let's start with a 50-pointer. I love a good 50-burger. Bing! James Harden, he had it last night against the Pistons. His first 50-point game with the Clippers, 24th of his career. Whoa, of his career. One behind Kobe for third all time. 8th 50-point game in Clippers history, but the first since Lou did it on January 10th of 2018. So he's the 7th player right now that's 35 or older to get a 50-point game. Second oldest player to do it on the second night of a back-to-back. That is so much information. What does it say about Harden? What do you make of this one?
I mean, the guy's just a professional bucket getter. He's been doing this his whole career, and he's one of these guys that we're watching, and he's also not slowing down at all, right? He's one of these guys like Steph, like LeBron, like KD, where they are still so productive, still an all-star this later in his career. It's super impressive, and James is one of the greatest scorers of all time. We always talk about how he had the foul change rule with how he create contact. He pat and then kind of step back, going right with left-handed, three-pointer, and he's still doing that at a high clip. So it's just unbelievable how he's managed to, keep his body in shape and health. He's, for the most part of his career, he's been very fortunate with injuries. Yep. And this is what he does. He gets to the free throw line, 16 of 20 from the free throw line last night. 14 of 24 and 6 of 13, very efficient 50. Feels like we're kind of getting numb to these 50 balls. Like 50, it's crazy back in the day. Now it's like, oh yeah, James had 50. Like moving on, like it's really crazy. So you really need to take a second just to appreciate how good these guys are at scoring the basketball
right now for the 50-point numbness about the whole thing. Lou, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with Chandler, but 2 shows ago I also said it when they were still struggling. Like he has to put his facilitator hat down and he has to put on the scoring hat, especially when you got one of your prolific scorers out of the lineup. You got to be that guy. That's been your DNA your entire career. And so I understand what it looks like to have to sacrifice or to fit into a mold that's needed for a team concept. But every once in a while you got to pop out and show the fact that you can go out there and score with the best of them. You're one of the most prolific scorers that the league has ever seen. And forget all of the facilitating, you got to go out there and be aggressive. So it was good to see him go out and do that.
And I like it. I like it after smoking such a big lead against Phoenix.
Oh, yep.
James Harden, you know what? I'm going to come out, no Norman Powell. I'm going to be super aggressive tonight, and I'm going to lead my team to victory against a really hot, good defensive Detroit basketball team. So I like it was a short-term memory. They know what they did wrong against that Phoenix Suns team, I think last night or 2 nights ago.
Yeah, it was a back-to-back last night.
Yeah, this is a huge win on a back-to-back where James Harden basically imposed his will and said, I'm going to go and carry my team to victory tonight.
Short-term memory. Lou, picture it. It's way back in 2018. You're playing the Warriors. You go 16 of 27, 8 of 16 from 3. In 35 minutes, your 50-point night. What do you remember?
Honestly, I remember just being down big coming into the game, and my job has always been to score the basketball and put us in a position to either get back in the game or push the lead to 8 to 10 points. That was always my goal. If we were down 10, by the time I'm out of the game, get it to 4. If we were up 2, my job was to get it to 8 to 10 by the time that I checked out of the game until the next time that I came. And so I've always had tunnel vision with what my job was going out there on the floor. So I just remember us being down and going out there just playing freely, trying to cut into that lead. And then before you know it, I'm making 4 or 5 shots in a row. I'm getting extended minutes. And now we got a basketball game, and now I got to finish the basketball game. And I was just hot, and I had it going. I had the 3 going, mid-range, floaters. I was just passing the ball. It's just one of those things. When you hear guys say that they black out or they zone out, that's literally the feeling. You're just going out there trying to make a play every single time you touch the basketball when you're on the heater like that.
Took 16 threes that night.
You'd be taking 16 threes every night now, Lou.
Every single night you would have to be, which is kind of...
If I was playing right now, my game would have probably changed dramatically, just the way that the game is played, and especially how it's coached. Like, I've had coaches tell me where I've made all my money in the mid-range, that shot is no good here. We need layups or three-pointers. So at the tail end of my career, I experienced some of it, but now it looks like that's the full-blown way to play basketball, layups and three-pointers. It would have changed my game a lot.
That's crazy.
It is hard not to be that retired guy. Like, imagine if we were playing with all these possessions and no such thing as a bad shot. I took like 8 shots a game my whole career. These dudes are taking 15. Like, it would be so much fun.
It would be so much fun and so much money. Everything's just better right now. Another game that happened last night, Thunder and the Grizzlies. SGA, no shocker here, a 120-103 win for the Thunder. He had 41 points, 14-25, 10-10 from the line. He had 8 assists. J-Dub, missed it, 20 points. 7-17, 9 assists. Well, I was close. So he.
Can I have my flowers first before you continue?
Oh, go ahead. Yes. What were your flowers again?
I just hit the parlay yesterday.
And I didn't.
And you did not.
Did Lou?
I forgot what. This isn't about Lou. It's between me and you.
I had Bane in points, and I had OKC money line. So maybe I did.
I had the OKC money line, so I got half. Half is good enough for something. SGA continues to lead the league at this point in scoring. He's almost got 33 a game. I'm wondering, though, Lou, as we get closer to playoff time, is this a formula that will work, or are they too dependent on him?
I'm torn. I'm torn because it's a lot. But when you're averaging 32 on the season, almost 33, it's natural for your team to expect that night in and night out. That's your daily average. And so when you're going out and getting these 40s and getting these 50s, it's natural for a team to depend on that. Come playoff time, when they have to play a half-court style of basketball, he can score in a half-court as well. He's one of those guys that knows how to get to his spots. He can play 15 feet away from the basket. He can play 20 feet away from the basket. So I don't see it as a concern. I do think they will have to make some adjustments in the playoffs when teams are keying in on you. You're not going to get as many opportunities in the transition that he's getting now. The foul calls are probably going to be a little different, even though he's a magician at drawing fouls. But I wouldn't say they're leaning on it too heavily, but they will have to make some adjustments come playoff time.
Yeah, and you can even see in the half court, especially when SGA gets going, they'll just throw a double team at him, kind of like how guys have been guarding LUKA. As soon as he crosses half court, if he's hit a couple buckets in a row, they'll just throw a second defender at it and then kind of put themselves in a scramble and have to force these other guys to make plays. So yeah, come playoff time, I think Jalen Williams is going to have a huge onus on him to get downhill and to be that kind of option, to not allow them to do that. Chet's going to get back in the lineup. He's going to be another threat. But they have so many guys they can put on the floor, that can space the floor, that can make shots. It's just when they do put this offense in a bind like that and take the ball out of Shai's hands, these other guys have to be ready to make plays. They can't just kind of stand around and let SGA do his thing, because a lot of teams are going to throw all these different coverages at him. They're going to blitz him. They're going to get the ball out of his hands. So it's on those other guys to make plays and step up and make shots in the playoffs when it's slowed down in the half court.
Is part of that Jalen Williams? Like, how do we get him scoring better?
Well, he'll be fine, but one thing about this OKC team is these guys cut without the ball more than any other team that I've seen in the league. So even when they do send traps at SGA, these guys always read and react. They don't stand there and wait for the ball to come to them. They go and get the basketball, and they put themselves in a position. And that's coaching. You got to give Coach Mark the credit for that and how these guys prepare for games, and especially when teams load up on SGA. As far as Jalen Williams is concerned, how is he not a legitimate number 2 guy? He's averaging over 20 points a game. Like, it may not be the name that everybody wants it to be or household name. He's an all-star. He's averaging 20 points a game. What else would you want from your secondary scorer and defender going out there to compete as a legitimate secondary guy? I think he's the one.
Yeah, I think he's a great second option. I think he's more than capable of being a first option on some nights when SGA's down or SGA's having an off night. He is a guy you can put the ball in his hands. He's their closer half the night, even when SGA is in the game. He's so good at ISO, one-on-one, getting to his mid-range, getting to the foul line. So, yeah, I'd like to see him continue to be aggressive. And like I said, when they do go to that, those defensive schemes where they take the ball out of SGA's hands, he's going to be playing, 3 against 4 on the other end, where you have a lob threat with Hartenstein and Chet. You have shooters, all these guys with Aaron Wiggins, the Isaiah Joes, and Wallace. They have all these shooters surrounding. So they're in a good situation. Coach Dagnon's going to have them in the right spots, and they just have to make the right play and make shots when it slows down in the half court.
We got to look at the Grizzlies for a second here. 8 of 22. He did have 24 points. Ja Morant, though, is averaging the fewest points per game that he's had since his second season in this league. Jaren Jackson's got the day-to-day going on. They continue to tumble. I think this is their 4th straight loss. They've lost 7 of their last 9, Chandler. The Western Conference, towards the end here, it's going to get interesting in that little spot right there. What happens?
Yeah, I can see them sliding a little bit with Triple J out, at least another week. I think that hurts a lot. They struck gold in the draft, really. They got Edey and they got Jalen Willis, who have been absolute pleasant surprises for this team, and they play hard, they defend, and they have the pieces. It's a little concerning with John Morant, just the longevity of the way the game is going, the way you have to be such an elite outside shooter. That's not his strong suit of his game, right? He's a freak athletic. He is so fast. He's still explosive. He's still going to find ways to dominate a game the way he plays. But the way the league's going with all this three-point shooting and efficiency, it's tough for him. He's shooting 28% from 3, so they're going to force him to make the shots. They're going to force him. They're going to go under screens, under dribble handoffs, and kind of make him beat you with the outside shot. And he hasn't proven he can do that consistently this year. So it is a little concerning, but at the end of the day, he is still so explosive, must-watch TV, and still a hell of a player. He's just got to find a way to be more efficient. Even 43 from the field is not great with a guy that has the ball in his hands most of the game.
It's crazy because it's Grizzlies, Rockets, Warriors. I just keep looking at the Warriors. Like, it's just, they're going to keep moving up.
But you know what this reminds me of, though, Chandler? This reminds me of a time in Andre Iguodala's career where he was athletic, he was explosive, getting to the rim, and then teams started backing up, and he had to prove that he was a jump shooter. And then that next summer, he came in, and he shot 50% from the field by the time that he got to Golden State. Like, Ja Morant may be in a position now in his career where you got to adjust your game. As you get older and teams starting to understand the way that you like to play the game, they start guarding you different. The scouting report is different. Now you got to make them pay with your mid-range and your three-point shot. So that should be a point of emphasis with Ja going into this next summer to adjust his game, to evolve his game, to be a threat 15 feet away from the basket, stretching out to the three-point line where teams got to guard you honest. Now you become a scoring threat with your three ball and your mid-range. They got to guard you up again, and that opens the lanes back up. Right now, they're just forcing him to shoot jump shots, and it's not going his way.
Yeah, and is there a little concern if you're Memphis, Lou, that the older he gets, the step he loses, the athleticism kind of goes? And look at the point guards now that are aging. Damian Lillard can shoot the shit out of it. Can shoot the ball. Kyrie Irving, Steph Curry, these guys can all shoot the ball at such a high clip. Most point guards now are scoring, shooting point guards. So he's kind of in that area now where he's not that. He's explosive, he's fast, he can get out in transition, still dominate. But is that concerning with a guy like him that's so very dependent on his athleticism that might not be there in 4 or 5 years?
Right.
Yeah, you got to adapt, evolve, add to your repertoire. Blazers, Celtics. No Tatum in this one. No worries. Pritchard and Derek White leading the team. 128-118 victory. Career high 43 for Pritchard. He was 10 of 16 from threes, 10 rebounds. Derek White had a career high 41 points. It's the first time 2 players have made 9 or more threes in the same game in NBA history. Of course it is. First Celtics duo to each score 40 points in a game in franchise history. And if you're an opponent of the Celtics and you see this and you think, that's not even the 2 dudes we're supposed to be scared of, Lou, what are you thinking?
That was impressive. As you look at these clips, a lot of those shots are deep and contested, and these guys are knocking them down. And that says a lot about the Boston Celtics. We've given credit to the Cleveland Cavaliers all year, but I've told you, the Boston Celtics are just chilling. They're fine-tuning, sharpening their knives, and they're getting ready for a deep playoff run. They're not even concerning themselves with trying to get the #1 seed. They're cool with the second seed right now and trying to continue to build and find confidence in other guys outside of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. And last night was a wake-up call to everybody. This team is a deep basketball team, and you can't take them lightly. On any given night, they got their 3rd and 4th scoring options. They can go off for 40 points a game, and they can do it together. They can do it on the same night if they can. So to see these guys make 19 three-pointers collectively the way that they did it, Boston Celtics are going to be a scary out for anybody that they run into in the playoffs.
It's crazy because I could give you guys 4 or 5 chances to pick 2 players on their team any which way that have both had 40. And
sure.
You would put in Jaylen Brown, you'd put in Jason Tatum, you'd probably throw in Porzingis. You would not pick these 2 guys. So
no.
it talks about,
Although the Pritchard 3 thing, he can.
Well, also, these guys combined for 33 threes. These 2 players. That's what I was talking about, Lou, with your 50-piece game. These dudes 16 and 17 threes, but they were 9 of 17 and 10 of 16. So this is what makes them so dangerous. It's next man up. Tatum's out, no problem. Pritchard, you can play through him off the bench. Drew Holiday's been struggling, no problem. You know, Derek White can go and fill the void, kind of play that point forward, initiate the offense while also being aggressive. So they have so many different guys that can initiate their offense. They have so many different guys that can close out basketball games. They're getting stuff for the bench. How about Al Horford? Dude, it's just he's aging like fine wine too. Cornette, they're getting stuff for. They're getting to put in Walsh and Cada. They're getting these valuable minutes for these guys that are going to see some time come playoff time. Games like this and nights like this are huge for them.
I love a good deal, right? Pritchard is going to win Sixth Man of the Year, but more importantly, he's on a $30 million rookie extension that he signed back in 2023. That's 4 years. So is there anybody in the league right now that's a better value?
No.
They got you with the six-man thing too, huh, Pritchard?
Because you know what? If he was
redo that.
If he was a free agent this summer, he would get 20 to 25 million a year.
Yeah.
And he'd be getting paid as a starting point guard because that's what he is. And he's just found a role here. He's mastered this. But
if you're his agent, can you be like, we'd like to have a conversation?
Yeah, you'd like to, but you can't.
But I want to.
You can't. And now I think Boston, if he continues this play and he continues to do what he's doing, obviously they can maybe throw an extension out here at some point. But now he's locked in. This is a heck of a deal for the Celtics.
That is nothing. Poor Lou. Lou's like, yeah, they got him. You know what? The next deal.
I feel your pain, man. I was. When you get that six-man tag on you, you're going to get paid like one.
That's not right.
But now he's going to get paid like a starter. Like, you know, I mean, now
he's going to get paid like a starter after this.
Well played, sir. Well played. All right, we're going to take a quick break. On the other side, he is back. DeAndre Jordan on the show.
Woohoo! Running back, run it up, running back,
You're looking at the winner.
What a monster jam by DeAndre Jordan!
When I wake up and look in the mirror, I'm looking at a winner and looking at the champ.
Hello and welcome back. Did you like that?
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
I love that.
Okay, we love that. We give it an A+. DeAndre Jordan, ladies and gentlemen, joining
Lou,
the show.
can I get on the show for 20 seconds before Lou is just laughing?
No, he's our giggle man.
Okay, all right. I just want to make
say a word, bro. I let it go, man. I didn't even say nothing.
I wish DeAndre was here the day where he was wearing the crotch hat before he moved the photo down. DeAndre, you missed a really good moment for Lou because he had his photo just placed absolutely incorrectly.
That picture in the background.
You know what?
Was
I did see that.
Just
the
tea bag.
Don't let them separate us, DJ. Don't let them do us like that, bro.
It's too late.
Lou, you have enough friends that should have told you before you came on television with that on there. But that's all right. That is all right. We fixed it. Russ, okay, let's talk last night. Russ, 12 of his 25 coming in the fourth quarter. Huge fan. We got big Russ Westbrook fans here. How much of a spark has he been for you guys all season?
He's been huge, man. He's come in and, I mean, you could say revitalize his career, but I mean, Russ has always been energetic and he brings a lot of passion and leadership to different teams and different roles that he's played. But on this team, we've asked him to come in and start sometimes. We've asked him to come in to be the sixth man. We've asked him to come in and guard the best player, to initiate an offense. And, you know, obviously him and NIKOLA play extremely well together. And at times he leads our second unit. So it's been great to see him come in and just be himself. And last night with Jamal getting into foul trouble, Russ came in and played great on both sides of the ball. And then he ended up making shots late and ultimately won us the game. So it was great.
The start of this season was so weird, and I think all of us talking heads were like, something's wrong with the Denver Nuggets, and you guys went 11-10, 29-12 since. So what changed?
I think it was just us finding our rhythm. Obviously 2 years ago you lose Bruce Brown and Jeff Green and Ish Smith and guys like that, and then the following year you lose KCP, and so having younger guys come in and fill those roles, it wasn't going to just happen quickly like that. But guys like Christian Brown and Peyton Watson and Julian Strawther, those guys have came in and stepped up. Even Jalen Pickett has came in and played great minutes for us when guys have been out. So I think that we have to give those young guys a chance to kind of develop and blossom into those roles that we've seen veteran players excel at, and not, put too much pressure on them to be those guys right away. Because when you're playing with NIKOLA and Jamal and AG and Mike, it's going to be easy to, just kind of come in and get in where you fit in. But you still have to have those games and experience and enough time together for the game to slow down and for us to play better.
DJ, there was a loss in the end of February there against the Lakers where you guys were hot, you guys were winning a lot of games, and Jokic made a comment saying that maybe you guys had tricked yourself into thinking, you know, that you were playing good during that 9-game streak but you were playing against teams that weren't high in the standings. Is that something that you take, you know, with a grain of salt and that you're handling business against the bad teams, or is this something that you know that means something and you need to beat the good teams? Like how do you take those comments?
Yeah, I think you can take it both ways. Obviously, you want to win the games that you're supposed to win and not go back and during the playoffs and like, oh man, we're a 5 seed. If we would have beat these teams that we're supposed to be, we would have had home court. So you never want to have that feeling. But I do think that you kind of got to, it's hard to win in this league, as you guys know, regardless of who you're playing against. Because everybody's talented. Everybody gets millions of dollars to play basketball because they're good. Their team may just not be good, but they can come in and beat you at any given night. So I think we have to figure out ways to beat better teams. And, you know, when you lose to the Lakers, it's like your season is over, you know. It's like, but, you know, obviously you know, they came in with a lot of energy with LUKA and new guys. And I think that it was a fun game. We'll see them 2 more times and we'll see. But we're playing a lot better.
DJ, you guys are currently sitting in the 3rd spot right now. If the season ended today, your matchup would be the Golden State Warriors. Do you guys care about seeding? Is that something that you discuss internally? You know, we had Boogie on, and he said if I was teams, I'm ducking Golden State right now with the way they're playing. Is that something you guys care about, or it's just business as usual for y'all?
I think it's business as usual. Obviously, you think about, okay, this first round, this second round, you think about that. But obviously, I like for our team to have home court just because it plays a big advantageous factor when you come to Denver, obviously. But I mean, Golden State is playing well.
I like that one. Go ahead. My fault. I like that.
I only went to school for a year, but I'm very educated, really, as you know. You know, South Gwinnett education, baby. No, it's big because I think they're playing well, but you know, at the end of the day, you got to go through tough teams regardless. So if we play Golden State in the first round or they beat whoever we play in the second round, it doesn't matter. You're still going to have to go through tough teams. You can't really duck anybody.
DJ, let me ask you right now, obviously, SGA, he's the favorite to win the MVP. They're 11 games up on you guys and the Lakers right now. But Jokic is doing some crazy, crazy stuff this year, too. He's obviously the runner-up right now. Make the case right now for him. And does he even pay attention to any of that stuff? Like, do you guys bring it up? Like, what's it like with him? But make the case for him why he should be MVP.
I mean, he's averaging 29, 13, and 11 for the 4th straight year. So, I mean, it's just Shai has done some amazing things. I give Shai a ton of credit. Their team was playing well. You know, NIKOLA is so valuable to our team, especially what he's doing at his size and the way he passes the basketball and he gets everybody involved. It's great. And, you know, he may not have the best defensive stats as far as steals and blocks and things like that, but he changes the game so much defensively as well because he has quick hands. He's super smart. He knows different angles and plays and things like that. But, you know, he will always be our MVP, obviously. 1, because he is, and then 2, because I don't want to get traded. So I'm always gonna vouch for Yoke, man.
You're kind of our inside man on all things Jokic because we got the Tyson Fury from you, we got the 50 Cent from you. Has he done anything recently that would bring smiles to the faces of children everywhere?
Ooh, man, I need to have a good Yoke story every time I come on here. But you know what? Honestly, it hasn't. He's been pretty NIKOLA. He's been pretty boring this past month. So next time I will have something ready for y'all. But not, I mean, when we go out and warm up, Many Men is the first song that's being played in Ball Arena. So it's pretty funny to see his reaction to it. Yeah.
Of all the songs.
And you know what else, Dre? The NBA has been talking about putting a one-on-one tournament in. And I know you like to line it up every once in a while after practice. Is there anybody on y'all team that can beat Joker one-on-one?
Man. I mean, if he gets the ball first, it's probably a wrap. But if he got to play defense on, like, Jamal or maybe even Russ, I don't know. Big fella may be out of there pretty quick. But if he gets the ball first, it's it's gonna be tough.
I like that.
Well, you got to put in a dribble minimum. You got to be
Yeah.
able to. You got to put. Yeah.
Yeah. I think
down
3
rule.
dribble max is
5 seconds,
yeah.
6-second shot clock.
Yeah.
Let me ask you about the dunk contest too, GJ. Your teammate Aaron Gordon, he was on here a few weeks ago, and he said that he thought his 4 dunks from 16, which I kind of agree with him, were better than Vince Carter's dunks from 2000. That dunk contest with him and Zach, bro. You know how good that dunk contest was, DJ? Because I forgot who won. I don't know if it was Zach or Aaron. I totally forgot who won the dunk contest because they were both so good. Are you buying that, or are you still sticking with VC?
What VC did? What year was that?
That was 2000.
2000.
We had never seen anything like that before in our lifetime. So I still got to go with what VC was doing. But I mean, AG and Zach did some crazy stuff. But it just was, 15 years later. So nobody knew how to react because we had never seen that before. So I just think that, and his dunks were all so emphatic, man. It's Vince Carter. You kind of gotta.
It's a tough one.
I love AG, but I'm going with the Vince.
That was the same thing. That's the same thing I was gonna say, Chandler. Like, AG did a lot of great things, even innovative for 2016. But the first time that we seen, that was the first time we seen any of those dunks that Vince Carter did. That was the first time ever, bro.
DJ, what if they threw a 35 and older dunk contest in the All-Star Weekend? Are you rolling?
I probably got like 2 dunks for y'all, and then I need Normatec and ice and a massage.
We gotta find something to spice this weekend up. I like the one-on-one. We need to do something, bro.
Hey, you know what? You and Lou come back.
Yeah.
Dunk contest.
Oof.
You 3-point challenge.
That'd be ugly.
Challenge.
That's
I'd watch
out.
this.
Dre, I want to ask you about another one of your teammates, Jamal Murray. Since mid-January, he's been averaging, upwards of 25 points a game. That's up from 19. What do you feel like turned around for Jamal and how he got it going?
I think just the course of the season, him being able to, find his spots, for us to gel better, him to get in better game shape, and just kind of be more aggressive. Obviously, as players, some of us act like we don't hear the outside noise, and but I feel like some players use that to their advantage for motivation. I think he's one of those guys. We all know what Jamal can do once the postseason gets here, but I think one of the challenges for him that we as a team and his friends and his teammates, we challenge him is to be able to do that from opening night throughout the playoffs, just so he can get that notoriety that he deserves as far as like him being an all-star and him being an all-NBA guy. It's just a consistency thing, and he does it. And when he does it like this, it's kind of like I want you to do this all the time because I'm selfish. I'm greedy. I want you to do this because I know the type of player you are, and that's what he's done the past few months.
And that was going to be my next question. Is there a focal point on his game, like going into the playoffs? Because he's aware that he has a reputation to taking it up another level in the playoffs. Is that a focal point for him?
I think so. I think him just getting that process started earlier than usual is going to be big for his confidence and for our team's success. Jamal is a hell of a player. We all know that. We all know what he does, and I think that him starting this now is going to take our team and his playoff run to a different and special level this time around.
I'm curious what you think about the LeBron comments the other day about the negativity problem that the league is currently facing, and he was specific in that it was coming from a lot of the folks that cover the league on a daily basis. Do you agree with that? Do you hear that the same way?
Well, I only watch running back, so I don't really listen to a lot of
Good
negative,
answer.
Flip that and put it up. Flip it.
Yeah. I only watch running back. But no, I think that, I'm sure there is some negativity sells, clicks sell, whatever highlight answer that we can get people to talk about their sales. And, from a business standpoint, I understand it, but from a sports standpoint, it's probably not the best thing for athletes. But at the end of the day, it's our job. We get paid a lot of money to play basketball, and if we play not to someone else's standards, then we're going to get called out on it, and that's fine. But like I said, I only watch running back.
I love that. DJ, since we last had you on, The Mavs traded LUKA
Oh, that's right.
to the Lakers,
did
which
have
I
this.
think surprised.
I heard about that.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy stuff, right? And it kind of put everybody on notice, right? Is there a world that the Nuggets one day
What?
would trade
Hell no.
Jokic?
What?
Here's the thing, DJ. I would say that too a month ago, and we
You're
talked
right.
about this. Like
You're
we
right.
can see Giannis. Jokic is the one current guy that I can see. I think he's gonna.
And
He's
Wemby.
gonna be and Wemby. I think they're gonna stay there.
Michelle had to throw in that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, I just made
I
sure.
could see. I could see a Giannis leave it. I could.
Yeah.
But is there a world that which the Nuggets would ever trade Jokic?
I personally don't see it. I also didn't see the LUKA thing that
Right.
was happening. I could only, and I don't want Nuggets fans to come to my house, but the only way I could see that is if he wanted to leave.
Right.
And then even if he wanted to leave, I'm not trading him.
Don't let him.
So, I mean, yeah, no, you're not leaving. You're gonna stay here.
Sorry.
I don't see it, and hopefully I don't. That's not gonna happen in the foreseeable future as long as I'm playing. So,
I can't imagine.
Hey, Drake, Kevin Durant was almost traded this mid-season. And his reasoning for not wanting to be traded, he said he didn't want to move.
That's fair.
He said he didn't want to move. Did you ask him about that? Have y'all discussed that, or is just because
Picture him packing up his own boxes and moving.
thing.
Like,
I mean,
yeah,
wanna
like
move,
I gotta look for another place somewhere else. I gotta, yeah, no. On the phone with the movers, hey, make sure you guys pack this up fragile.
Right.
No, I don't. We're
a lot
not,
of stress.
as much as we think we're not doing any of that stuff. That's just, we play Phoenix tomorrow, so I will bring that up.
So when you have a matchup like that with one of the homies, man, do you go at KD, nudge him a little? Do you foul him a little harder, or you ease up when it's one of your guys?
It depends on the game.
All right. Well, tomorrow
there's
against
Yeah,
Phoenix,
there's a lot.
KD is your guy.
I'm definitely gonna try to talk some stuff to him, get under his skin a little bit. But now K is much more evolved. So only if you say if he's missing shots or if they're losing and you say something to him, he may snap back at you, which is good because I want that banter, I want that back and forth. But hell yeah, if I ever do switch out on him and he misses, I'm like, yeah, I was waiting on that. I was locked it up, but he just missed.
There are like a lot of stories from earlier on in your career, and so this one's interesting to me. In a 2016 interview, Larry Bird was asked about watching players that he once doubted would ever have successful careers, and he said about you at one point, "No way in hell that you would ever make it." He's now backtracked and has praised how well you have developed your entire game and your career. But Larry Bird even saying that in the first place and then retracting, well, what's that like?
First of all, no way in hell is such a strong.
That's great. That's
rude.
great. Yeah, that is wild.
Damn, like out of 450 players, no way in hell this guy will ever be successful. That's
rough.
That's great to hear from one of the NBA legends. And I don't know, maybe because they didn't draft me, he wanted to. But that's a different story. Anyway, I like that he backtracked, but I'm not rolling with it. It's just
Like, what did he see? What did he think he saw? Like, what? It's weird.
I don't know. Maybe people see somebody play in college or in a workout and do like, oh well, I know all about this person, and that's kind of it. But I was excited that I went 35th in the draft because it gave me some time to develop. I didn't have a lot of pressure on me to excel right away, and then I got to develop at my own pace, and then I think I turned out okay. So.
I think so. Yeah, I think you're doing all right.
Hell of a career.
Well, thanks, Larry. Thanks, Larry, for that extra.
Hold that, Larry.
Yeah, forget Larry. I got one more
I
question before we
appreciate
let
the
you
extra
go.
motivation.
Seriously.
Yeah, we got you, bro. You not recently, but you once commented that your welcome to the NBA moment was the Chris Bosh elbow pump fake. Is there any young players now that have reminded you of that or have given you one of those moments you like, this is coming full circle now?
Well, anytime somebody calls me OG or big homie, I hate that because then it makes me feel, because that's what I used to call Marcus Camby, who was my vet. And I'm like, wow, I'm that guy now. Wow. But it's funny because I won't say their name, but there's a couple of young guys that we work out with in the summertime. And throughout the course of the season, we obviously play against each other. And our trainer hit me up and was like, hey, so-and-so called me after y'all played last night. I was like, man, DJ is too strong, you know? And I'm just like, he's like, I can't wait till I'm old enough to get that strength like that. I'm just kind of like, that is a funny thing because that was that. I can't say that.
Why can't you say that?
But I am a huge fan of his game, and I think he's going to be a great player for a long time.
Okay, we're going to spend the rest of the season trying to guess who it was. If we guess it, though, you have to tell us, yeah? Yeah. That's fair.
Deal.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. All right, next time you're on, we will have some 3 guesses. DeAndre, thank you so much for the time, as always. We'll talk soon.
DJ.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, Larry.
What? Ooh! Hollywood!
Run it up, run it back, yeah.
Oh, a little you buying that? We're going to go to Lou first on this one because we got a Paul Pierce quote. We always do. He says, Jason Tatum is underappreciated because he plays for the most hated franchise in all of sports. Do you buy that?
No, I ain't buying that one. I ain't buying that one. We loved Isaiah Thomas. We loved Kyrie. We loved Kevin Garnett. We loved you.
We did.
We loved the Rajon Rondo, Ray Allen. These were all guys that we loved in the Boston Celtics uniforms. Then they got their flowers. I'm probably missing another 20 guys. Like one of the more historic franchises in the history of the NBA, and we've celebrated a lot of these guys. I just think Jason Tatum is an easy target for people to mess with because he doesn't say a lot in the media, and he's very mild-mannered, and he's a professional. And we tend to poke at those type of guys who don't really have a lot to say. I don't think it has anything to do with the Boston Celtics. I think media has found an angle to poke at a bear to see what they can get out of him and what they can use as clickbait material, and the fans have followed it up by doubling down on it. But I don't think this is anything to do with the Celtics franchise at all.
I do think the Celtics, the franchise, are probably pretty hated in the whole wide world of sports, but I don't know if the two are related here. He also had more to say, by the way. He said he does not believe that LUKA and LeBron are the best duo in the game right now, that it is still very much Brown and Tatum. Chandler, are you buying that?
This season, it's close. I mean, it's crazy to put a 40-year-old in the best duo, but I mean, LUKA and LeBron are pretty tough to beat. I think consistently over the last couple of years, it's Tatum and Brown, just the versatility, the wins, the championship. That is a hell of a duo. So you can argue either way. This year, the way they're defending and for the Lakers and now adding LUKA, it's obviously fresh. They haven't played together that long, but that's a tough duo to beat. I mean, there's Giannis and Dame. There's a bunch out there, but I kind of agree with him on this one. I mean, Tatum and Brown, to me, are probably the most solid, consistent, best duo in the NBA.
It's a small sample size right now.
I agree with him on this one. Absolutely.
That's kind of almost insulting to just throw them above them. They've been together for 20 minutes. Like, let's just give it a second. Lou, Robert Horry said that LeBron would win MVP if he got the calls that SGA gets. You buying that?
No, I'm not buying. LeBron doesn't even have that style of game. And there was once a point where LeBron was getting fouled a lot in his career, but that was him coming downhill, putting pressure on your defense, forcing you to stop him from getting to the basket, and as a result, you had to foul him. I think now Shai has just mastered a part of the game where fans don't necessarily like it, but it's a smart way to play. Like, if I can get 2 easy free throws from you reaching in the cookie jar and slowing down the game and putting 2 points on the board without the clock moving, then I'm gonna use that to my advantage. But their games are different. I don't see what more LeBron could do to put himself in this conversation that he's already in besides what he's doing. So, no, I'm not buying that.
Yeah, he's not the type of player. Like, Joel Embiid will hunt fouls. LUKA, Jalen Brunson, these kind of guys, like James Harden, SGA, they have mastered, like Lou said, they have a craft. They have a skill set to get to the free throw line. LeBron doesn't play like that. LeBron, head down, he creates the contact, but he's not looking for fouls like this. So I disagree with this.
All right, Chandler, you're up next. Former NBA player Theo Pinson said Steph Curry's not the greatest point guard of all time because he's not a true point guard. Are you buying that he shouldn't be considered the GOAT because of that? And by the way, just side note, yesterday's YouTube chat, people were mingling, had Magic above Steph at all time point guard.
No, I disagree with this fully. I think he's the best point guard, and I think he's been a starting point guard his entire career, and Klay Thompson's been the 2 guard. So it's hard to say he's not a point guard when he's legitimately played that position his entire career. Yes, is he the greatest shooter of all time? Can he play 2 guard and play off the ball and come off all these screens and staggers and flare screens? Yes, but Steph Curry is a point guard. He brings the ball up the majority of the play. He initiates the offense. He's been the starting point guard for the Golden State Warriors his entire career. So you can't just, because of his excellent ability to shoot the basketball, put him as a shooting guard. He's a point guard, and he is the best point guard of all time.
Yeah, I don't think I get this argument, Lou.
I get the sentiment, like, yes, technically he is a point guard.
Yeah.
But when you think about point guards, you think about setup guys. You think about somebody who's facilitating the offense, who's a quarterback on the floor. That's not really Steph Curry. Steph Curry identifies more as much as a point guard as Allen Iverson was. Like, yeah, you're the point guard. You're the guy that's bringing the ball up the floor. But in essence, you're a shooting guard. So I agree with some of this. He's still going to go down as one of the greatest point guards in the game. He's not going to be recognized much as a shooting guard, even though that's kind of the way that he played. He played like Allen Iverson. You know, he was one of the guys that was going to play off the ball. So even though he initiated the offense, he didn't really set up and facilitate the offense. And so when these arguments happen, guys just want to be technical. They want to find an angle to argue and debate about something, but he is going to go down as one of the greatest point guards in the game.
Well, and look at all the the great point guards right now: Dame Lillard, Kyrie Irving, Luka. Like they're all technically off guards too. They're shooting,
just changed a bit.
but they're point guards. So
right.
They're point guards.
Okay, fair enough. Lou, you're up next on this one. This one, there is a fix for this next one, by the way. Kevin O'Connor wondering if the NBA should even have the play-in for some of these teams that are so below 500, like Sixers, Bulls, and Nets. Are you buying that the teams way below 500 should even be eligible? And P.S., you can fix it easily. Go.
I hate the play-in. I hated it when I hated it. Yeah, I hated it when it started. So I'm buying. I'm buying because look, because you have teams. You got teams that are in 6th and 7th place, and you got a team that's fighting to get to 10th place, and you still got to prove yourself to them. Like, I was good enough all year to put myself in this position. I have one bad game or one bad week, and I'm out of the playoffs. Hey, I agree. So should teams below 500 shouldn't be in the play-in? I agree with them.
Well, you should re-rack them because the Mavs are in 10th and they're 32 and 31.
And
so
even
fix it.
even the Heat are 7th. They're 3 games under 500. So either way, there's going to be teams in the playoff that's under 500.
That's what I'm saying. But if you just redid and got rid of these conferences when it comes time to playoffs, we wouldn't have.
But also, like,
right
think about the Orlando Magic. They've had such a great year. They've been burned with injuries, and then all of a sudden, you're right. The Chicago Bulls get healthy at the right point, beat them in a game, and then the Magic season is just a wash because of 2 March Madness type games. I get the frustration with it. But also, I kind of love the plan, and I love the intensity of it. I love the do or die.
You've gotten used to it.
But it is messed up that the 10th spot in the West is a game above 500, and the 10th spot in the East is like 14 below 500. That's stupid.
And you also can't get rid of conferences, Beadle. You don't want to see a Portland-New York matchup in the first round.
Sure, I do.
Flying 6 hours for a game in 48 every 48 hours.
I've been on those planes. It's nice. Even for me with my Xanax, it's totally fine.
Yeah, I was about to say, imagine you having to having to do those games.
Yeah, sneak a little wine in. Just figure it out. Some planes are cooler than others. I don't know. I just feel like when there's such a discrepancy between the 2 conferences, it really is glaring at that point. Chandler, Tim Bontemps suggested that Anthony Davis go ahead and just sit the rest of this bad boy out, and then Dallas should trade him this summer, which would make him quite literally one and done in Dallas.
That'd be crazy if he only played 3 quarters in Dallas after all this, and that's all you get for the Luka trade. Again, this season, maybe, with Kyrie now out, with everything that's at stake with him. But again, like we discussed this yesterday, they still have enough, depending on when the P.J. Washingtons, the Gaffers, the Livelies, they can come back, play. If Anthony Davis can play, and this isn't something that's going to linger and require something more serious this offseason that's going to linger in the next season, then play. But big picture for this team, big picture for Philly is looking to next year, to re-signing Kyrie Irving, getting him healthy, getting this team ready, and then you go into next season with positive juju and vibes going that you can actually compete for a championship.
What if that's the one picture, the only picture of him and a Dallas?
To trade it, again, nothing would surprise me, I guess, at this point. The NBA is bananas, but I can't see that happening. You don't acquire a player like this. And then maybe, who knows, maybe they go full tank and acquire some young assets and picks or whoever, but I don't see it happening maybe this year, but to trade him this summer, that'd be pretty crazy.
I mean, anything can happen, Lou. All right, Lou, you get the last one. While discussing this actual trade behind me here, Jeannie Buss took I guess it was a jab, but honestly, she said it with her own face.
It was a bit of a
no
zinger,
issue.
though. It was...
Well, she said that Anthony Davis had been complaining about where he was being played, and we all know he did not want to be a center. So are you buying that he's complaining, or concerns were valid?
His concerns were valid, and he even had proof to back it up. They won a championship when he was the 4. So why would you play me at the 5 when this isn't working, when I'm getting banged up? Everybody is talking about my injury history. You got me playing out of position. And the one time that I do voice my concerns in the public, I get traded for it. And this is a year after LeBron James said this was my team. And the one time that I have something to say, you get rid of me. I feel like his concerns were valid. If that was something that was bothersome to him, and if he was committed to winning, like I feel like he was, he makes a valid point. Listen, we won a championship when I was the 4. Let's get back to that style of play, especially if this isn't working. So I'm rolling with AD on this one.
Yeah, I don't think this was like, there was never rumors about him being unhappy. There was never rumors about trades. It's not like this is Phoenix where there's all these, this guy's got to go, this guy's got to go. This is just one sit down I think he did. And
he
said, I think where I'm better off playing the 4, which is my natural position, which again, that makes sense to me. Seemed a little out of left field here, but again, I never felt that he wanted out. I never felt like he was complaining. I think he literally just wanted to play his natural position and felt the team was better off with acquiring a big man.
Well, he might have been complaining behind the scenes after he said it out loud. I mean, we have no idea, but it is, look, at least she said it. It's not a bunch of leaks about he's fat and he likes to smoke and drink beer. Like, that's, at least they're not doing that. So, well played, Ms. Buss. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side, more Run It Back.
Run it back, run it up.
Oh, why not? Prop party, Chandler, go.
Let's stay hot here, Beats.
Okay.
All right, we're going Lakers money line. They are absolutely balling right now. They are defending. And I like LUKA going at his old running mate, Jalen Brunson, tonight, getting a dub.
Cute.
Dub. Lakers to the moon.
Oh, double-double. That's cute. Lou?
I'm going classic. The Lakers are rolling, so I'm going to go Lakers money line. Bron over in points. Big night, 25.5. 29 on the night, to be specific. All my bettors out there, we're going for it.
Have we ever checked any of those? We've got to go back and check them. I'm actually going Lakers money line as well. I know it's a little bit weird, but I think the double-double's adorable. I'm going to go LUKA triple-double if everybody doesn't mind.
One up Chandler.
Yeah,
I like it.
One to up him. Can the Knicks win? Does anybody think they can win? I mean, they can.
Yeah, they can. They can. OG's been balling. They're playing well. I think, is Cat back?
I don't know. It's been personal stuff.
I think
Where is this game? Where are they tonight?
It's here
in LA?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Lakers all day.
But Cat sounds like he is back. Does that matter?
Cat's back. Give me the Lakers.
Oh, still keeping the Lakers. All right, that'll do it for us. We will catch you on the other side. Have a wonderful and safe Thursday, ladies and gents.
Is Thursday your favorite day of the week?
I love Thursday.
Run it up, run it back, run it up, run it back, run it up, and run it back.